imperator, better known as the Emperor Dragonfly.
Howdy, my name is Jacob Trahan. I'm going to be talking about the Glenurus gratis, better known as the antlion.
So the purpose of this debate is to answer the question of which of these two insects is the better predator. The emperor dragonfly, scientifically known as the Anax imperator, resides primarily in Europe and more specifically in the United Kingdom, although they are also seen in some areas of North and East Africa. They can be easily identified by their bright blue abdomen and their green thorax. These dragonflies can usually be seen flying around large bodies of fresh water, such as ponds and lakes where they lay their eggs. The emperor dragonfly is large as far as dragonflies go, measuring about 72 millimeters on average. This size is one of the reasons that it is able to easily consume various prey ranging from mosquito to butterfly size. Another advantage that this dragonfly has in hunting is its speed in the air. It can fly at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, which makes it one of the fastest insects out there. An emperor dragonfly's speed gives it a big advantage when it is looking for a meal, especially since the emperor dragonfly is known to grab its prey mid-flight. Emperor dragonflies can then eat their prey in flight, although if they catch something as large as a butterfly, they usually prefer to find somewhere to perch while they eat it. Amazingly, a dragonfly can eat about as much as it weighs in less than an hour. Besides these key features that make the emperor dragonfly such an impressive predator, they also have large, powerful eyes that help them spot their prey, and grinding mandibles that allow them to eat well in flight. While these fully grown emperor dragonflies are impressive in their hunting abilities, it would be a mistake not to mention how capably they can hunt even as larvae. In the larvae, also known as nymph stage, emperor dragonflies live among the reeds of stagnant areas in ponds or lakes. These larvae are master hunters, who use their extraordinary eyes and a sort of jet propulsion system produced by their intestines to catch prey like mosquito larvae and even some very small fish. With all of this to consider, the emperor dragonfly makes a fierce predator in the insect world from larvae to fully grown form.
The insect that is clearly the better predator, is the antlion. The antlion does have another commonly known nickname, which is the doodlebug. They got this nickname from drawing circles in the sand that resemble a person making a doodle in the sand. The antlion can live in many regions here in the U.S., including Florida, Indiana, Mississippi, Kentucky, Missouri, New Jersey, Ohio, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. The antlion makes their pit traps in hollowed out trees and sand. The antlion larvae can live up for 2 years. This is no small feat and gives them plenty of time to catch prey. They are also patient insects, laying and waiting for their prey to come to them, most strategically placing their pits near animal excrete and other things that would allow the insects to come to them. This shows not only that they are smart, but resourceful as well. Their pits are approximately 15 millimeters in diameter and catch any unexpected insects that mistakenly fall into the pit. They capture the ants and their other prey with their pincers, and after that they sting the ant to paralyze them. They do capture more than just ants eating caterpillar and other larvae, as well as aphids and other insects around that size. They are, however, most known for eating ants, thus the name antlion. The antlion is approximately the size of a fingernail, and they catch around 22 ants or ant-like creatures a day. Quite the impressive predatory feat. The antlion also buries itself, making it hard to see and detect, also adding to its predatory capabilities. Another reason that they are great predators is that they don't really mess around with people too much. They just get rid of pesky ants and other ground-dwelling insects. Truly a great predator.
Although the antlion is definitely a proficient hunter, it is limited because of its inability to catch prey as they fly. The emperor dragonfly, on the other hand, has a definite advantage because of its ability to pick its prey up off the ground or catch it while it's in the air. Because of this, the emperor dragonfly is not limited only to insects that live on and crawl on the ground. While the antlion is a patient predator, the emperor dragonfly is able to be more selective of its prey. Another way that the emperor dragonfly is a great predator and is able to outclass the antlion is through its maneuverability in flight. Because of its powerful wings and aerodynamic body, the emperor dragonfly is able to hover or turn on a dime to catch its prey, giving it yet another advantage in hunting.
These two insects are obviously different from one another. The emperor dragonfly is all about pursuing and hunting insects, Well, the antlion is all about strategy and letting its prey come to it. I think that the latter is better. The antlion is similar to a spider being patient and waiting for its prey to make a mistake and become the meal for the insect. The dragonfly has to go and pursue the prey and exhaust energy. The antlion only has to use the energy to create its trap, and then when an ant or insect falls in, then it just has to bite and sting its prey, and its work is done. It is an insect that chooses to work smarter and not harder, for sure. They also have amazing senses due to the hairs that surround their bodies, and which allows them to feel what is going on around them. So while the dragonfly has impressive eyesight, the antlion definitely has better hair.
While the antlion may be somewhat more patient and cunning than the emperor dragonfly, it eventually reaches its adult stage where it is no longer the predator that it used to be. Emperor dragonflies, on the other hand, are great predators in both stages of their lives. The emperor dragonfly nymph, or larvae, is hatched in the water and quickly becomes a terror for small insects and fish around it. The nymph's multifaceted eyes give it great vision even while swimming through the water, and it has a special kind of weapon that it can use to easily catch its prey. The emperor dragonfly nymph is able to push air out of its intestines to very quickly propel it forward and surprise whatever unfortunate creature it has decided to make its next meal. Given the emperor dragonfly's continued predatory dominance through its adult life, as I've already talked about, it makes a strong case for being the better predator.
The antlion may not be as fierce of a predator in its adult life compared to the emperor dragonfly, but just because of that doesn't mean it's not the superior predator. As a human, I find it more of an accomplishment and more useful if I can get my food brought to me. Imagine just sitting around at home, and then boom, from the sky falls food. This sounds way better and more of an accomplishment to me than having to track, find, and catch my food. That would be just exhausting. The antlion is a superior predator due to its strategy that allows it to survive by setting up a clever food delivery system. Your dragonfly is a superior insect in speed and ability, but you cannot beat the ingenuity of the antlion's trap. It's an inescapable death pit that would strike fear in any creature small enough to fall victim to the insect's ferocious chompers. I find, due to its strategy, it's clearly the superior predator.
While the antlion does arguably have it easier than the emperor dragonfly when it comes to collecting its food, I don't think that necessarily makes it the better predator. The emperor dragonfly does not have its food dropped in its lap, which has clearly added to its ferocity and capability as a hunter. The emperor dragonfly is an amazing insect in many different ways, from its unique jet propulsion system in its larvae form to its outstanding flight ability. These characteristics, as well as the other ones discussed, make it a threat to most other insect in its habitat. While it may not have the patient calculating ability of the antlion, it more than makes up for it through its domination of its surroundings in both larvae and adult stages of its short life. Although it may look like the antlion is more clever and cunning than the emperor dragonfly at a closer glance, you can see the strategist that the dragonfly really is when it hunts its prey. While it is flying, it is constantly having to make adjustments to its altitude, speed, direction, etc., in order to successfully capture its prey and ensure that it gets a meal. The many different calculations and variables that the emperor dragonfly has to keep up with while hunting shows that it is indeed just as clever as the antlion. The summation of all these many skills within the emperor dragonfly makes it the superior predator in all regards.
The antlion has clearly adopted a more efficient hunting method, one in which it does not have to use energy to search and hunt for its prey like the emperor dragonfly. Also, when it comes to ferocious, what is more terrifying and ferocious than a creature in a pit that is going to eat you? When an ant or insect falls in, their doom is inevitable, which would be truly terrifying. The antlion is so different from the emperor dragonfly, but in a better way. With its smart strategy of making a pit for prey to come in and fall into, oh. To making its pit near animal excrete to attract predators, to attract prey. These two things alone already make it an impressive predator. When you look at its mandibles and its stingers, which is used to effectively capture and paralyze its prey, Then finally its feelers over all of its body, giving it amazing detective capabilities. All of these things just in the antlion's larva state, effectively burying itself, hiding, and eating until it's reached adulthood while laying low and avoiding predators, make it a superior predator itself.